Done? Oh,
Yeah, I brought you back a little early because I wanted to make sure I could cover everything. So how was that conversation? Good?
good. Good.
Yeah.
I've found my voice. This is Sherry.
Oh, yay, Sherry! Woohoo! I'm so excited. Well, I had to make sure that you and Patricia were in so that it wasn't like in dead silence somewhere. So
Right.
awesome. So any one or two people, what did you hear in your room, Charisse?
We talked a little bit about what we don't like to see at a business expo when you as an attendee approach a booth and the person's on their phone or eating or not giving you the time of day. So that's always frustrating as an attendee. So
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. I'm gonna show, if I have time, I'm gonna show a video about that a little bit later. So, all right, let's dive in right now. We're gonna get rolling. Do's and don'ts of attending. So let's explore the steps needed to be a successful attendee. So you're an attendee, you walk in. This expo is pretty busy, right? It's got tons of food, and this is just a blast. I love this expo. Lots of great people, you're connecting and all that. So if you're an attendee and you're going in, what should you do, right? So the first thing you want to do is, before you go, is pre-plan your visit. Get the list of who's going to be there, right? So the chamber publishes the list of exhibitors that are going to be there, right? So take some time to research those companies and those vendors that you want to see at the event, right? And make sure that you're ready for that. Now, and as attendee, understand also why you want to connect with those people. If it's to sell your services, don't visit their booth. I'm going to say that again. If it's to sell your services, don't visit their booth, because the people at the booths have paid to be there to sell their services. You as an attendee are there to learn about them, learn about what they do, connect and make some connections, and get a chance to follow up afterwards. So I really want you guys to be very, very aware of that as an attendee. Okay. Second thing you want to do is, it's a long show. If you're going to be there for 4 hours and you're going to, kind of devote that time there, you want to dress comfortably. Make sure that you're, in the right shoes, right? Making sure that you have a coat or a jacket if it's cold. Bring something, a backpack or a bag or something where you can, pick up those materials or those tchotchkes that people have. So just make sure that you're kind of ready for all that. Bring your business cards, obviously, too. Bring a water bottle, and just make sure that you are, kind of ready for the day, for the afternoon. So you don't want to be scrambling for a pen or things like that as you're talking to people and getting information. So just make sure that you are, and also dress comfortably but appropriately, right? So this is a business expo. You don't want to go in jeans and a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, and even though we're coming out of COVID and things are very casual these days, I'm finding that our business meetings, we've been pretty casual. You still want to dress up to be that business casual person as you're walking around the exhibit room. Other thing is, you want to just make sure that you're hitting all the areas, right? So step 3 to being a really good attendee is engaging with the vendors and the exhibitors, right? So, don't just walk around the room, and if you're not interested in something, don't just walk by them. Engage with them a little bit. Make them, feel good and have a good conversation. Ask questions about what they're doing if you don't understand it. If you feel like it's a hard sell, you don't have to go up and buy anything, but just really learn. Spend that time as an attendee learning about the different businesses that are in the area. That's really important. Provide your contact information, your business card, so you can get it from them, so you guys can follow up. And again, this is not a time to sell your services. If you're going to the expo to sell, I wouldn't go, because it's just not what you need to do. That's not proper etiquette. If you want to go to sell, there's exhibit booth space still available. Buy a booth, and then you can sell to your heart's content. And interacting with the vendors and the exhibitors, you never know who you're going to meet. So even if someone or something isn't of interest to you, it's still worth having a conversation. and maybe they know somebody, maybe you hit it off, maybe they become a sister from another mother, right? So one of those kinds of things. So you just never know who you're going to meet. So make it a point when you go, don't just buzz in and buzz out, but go in. I don't know if you guys are having hallway booths, Carly, and I haven't seen the layout yet, but if there are booths in the hallway, make sure that you stop at those vendors and those exhibitors and find out what's going on with them. And, sometimes we just kind of buzz right through and just go right into the main showroom. But as an attendee, you really want to kind of get to know the different types of businesses that are out there, because you never know what can help you and who you might be able to help after that. And step 4, network with other attendees, right? Lots of people are going to be there. Don't be afraid to shake hands and kiss babies with the people that are around and that are going to be, that are doing the same thing that you're doing. That's a time that you can take some time to introduce yourself, and you can talk a little bit about what you do. And, you certainly can have those kinds of interactions like you would at any different networking event. But again, as many of you know, who've been to my networking workshops, you never want to sell at a networking event either, but you want to exchange information, ask questions, and just learn about other people. So, the people that you're meeting, if you're standing at a booth talking to an exhibitor and someone else comes by, strike up a conversation with them, because they obviously are interested in something that you're interested in. These relationships that you make with these different kinds of people can really create these great long-lasting relationships that could really help you. You just never, ever know who you're going to meet. So always be interested and open to meeting people that are also attending. So those are kind of 4 steps that you'd want to take as an attendee. And I'd like to open up the floor a little bit for you guys to kind of talk about what you think about those 4 steps. And if there's something I said that was magic, which I don't think it is, but tell me a little bit about what you're thinking. John, I want to hear from you. John Allen. You're on mute. I'd love to hear from you with your microphone off.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. I think as an attendee, and I've been on both sides of the aisle or the table, I think as an attendee, your goal is really to learn and really to assess the marketplace. It's like, are they your competitors? Hey, you want to learn what they're doing and note a point of difference. You're not better or worse. It's just a point of difference. If you're, I used to attend as a banker. So as bankers, we'd all network with each other because conceivably we'd all be working at a different bank together. So part of it was really to meet the people and learn what they're doing and how you're different. Does that make sense to you?
It does, absolutely. Sherry, you're going to be an attendee. What do you think? And you're on mute. Yep.
It's interesting what you said. I never looked at it that way. I mean, when I went last year, and when I have gone to others, as this Taste of Metro West, we were just an exhibitor there, and we'll be an attendee with you. But I do go around, and I love to chat and kind of see what everybody is up to. But I never looked at it that way as the appropriate etiquette of an attendee. So that actually kind of makes a lot of sense. And, and I have connected with people, and, I can see, what you're saying, even though I actually didn't realize it to begin with. But it's good advice to be, also to be appropriate in terms of being the attendee versus the exhibitor, because, it just kind of brings it to light.
Yeah,
So.
it's funny because when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to go sell my cert. Yeah, I'm going to. And people would get mad. They would get upset. The exhibitors would be like, I'm not here. I'm not here to get pitched. I just paid $400 for this booth, right? So that's
Right.
yeah.
And,
so it's interesting.
And you can really just say, they always ask what company you're from, or, where this is where I'm from, and they can always follow up with you later, or they can ask questions if they're asking questions, and that's a whole different story, and then you're in a conversation. But
Right.
but anyway, yeah, no, it's and the volume of people that are there, and the it's just nice to kind of have some of these pointers to to navigate
Yeah.
that space. But anyway.
And there's so much food at this. Those of you guys that haven't been here, there's so much food at this event, which is really great. That's a great place to meet other people that are attending the event around, go to the courtyard and they've always got good food, and, go to the DoubleTree and they've got their cookies, right? So there's always some really great, great food. So there's great places to kind of mix and mingle with other attendees. So just kind of be aware of that. For sure. Sheldon, I want to hear from you because you also are going to be an attendee. Anything I say that was magic?
Everything you say is magic, Sandy. Actually, it's fun. I've been on both sides. I've been an exhibitor, I've been an attendee. And what you just said a second ago, when you said, meet other attendees and talk to them as well, that's a great place, right in front of the cookie station, or the car, whatever they're having. People are standing there eating. It's a great time to be able to, to say hello to the other attendees and learn a little bit more about them as you learn about all the other exhibitors too. So that's probably one of the best places. Because as you're passing by, unless you see somebody it's hard. But
Yeah.
those are great places too, right in front of all the food tables.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, and again, it's a fun expo. So, and last year, it was the first year out of COVID, and it was good. I anticipate this year being even better. Pre-COVID, the place was just rocking. It was so much fun. So
just don't block the food so I can get to the table.
I know. The food is so good. And Joe's bone sauce is going to be delicious. You guys, if you haven't tried Joe's bone sauce, it's pretty good. Really good. All right. So we're going to move on a little bit to how to be what not to do. And I'm going to show a little video on. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
All right. So hopefully you can hear it too. Let me just, oops, hold on a
What's
second.
the worst behavior you've seen by a trade show?
1 second. I just need to make sure I have one thing done. Check sound. All right. Here we go. Enjoy this.
Trade show exhibitor ever.
Sleeping in the booth?
Texting. Chewing gum while you're talking.
Somebody picking their nose.
Somebody opening their bag and taking all of the tchotchkes and sweeping them into their bag and walking away.
Not being open to meet new people.
Sit in the back of the booth and not be engaged with the attendee.
Talking to each other and ignoring the customers.
That is terrible.
It's awful.
It's so bad that I bet nobody ever does that.
I would hope not.
Have you ever done that?
Me, never.
I have.
You have?
I have with hers.
Sitting down, eating, and reading a book.
I'm going to say sitting down with your back to the floor, working on a laptop.
Talking to each other with their backs turned and not facing, with people walking by. You paid so much for the booth. They're sitting here, they're texting, they're talking.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen in a trade show booth by exhibitors?
I would say breaking down early.
Why is that so bad?
Because our show closes at 3, not 9 in the morning.
People go in from one booth and dragging people over to another booth.
Poaching from other people's booths. So when you see people engage in conversation, kind of working your way into that conversation and trying to direct them to your booth.
What's the worst behavior you've ever seen on the trade show floor?
Oh, everybody on their cell phones in the booth, for sure.
On the phone with potential people going by, not good.
People texting each other while they're in the booth and ignoring the customers.
Not engaging with the people that are here and around them, looking at their phones, looking at their iPads. You're here face to face to meet with people. This is the time to do it.
I'd say one of the things I commonly see is exhibitors on their cell phone looking bored and not present, and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make as an exhibitor. You should be trying to engage the attendees as they walk by, start the conversation.
We're a face-to-face industry. We're a face-to-face business. People want to do business with someone that they can speak to and have that interaction, and you're not going to get that by sitting in the back of the booth with your arms crossed, not engaged. You have to be engaged.
Building your online business.
Sorry, hold on a second.
Go to Wix.com and set up your store.
All righty. So what were your thoughts on that video? Anybody? What's the common theme?
Everything was true. You have to be engaged, breaking down early, not paying attention, being on your cell phone. But what's the point of paying for the booth if you're not going to be engaged? I never sit behind my table. I like to stand in front of my table.
I will tell you right now, that is the biggest trick. That is the biggest thing that you can do when you're at an expo. Do not stand behind your table. Do not even have a table.
The other thing I do is I actually put my banners on top of the table to create more visibility. And it doesn't work so much for this type of event, but when I'm exhibiting for my personal business, it tends to be a 3-day exhibit because the people are going in and out of classes. So I will put my stuff up, I'll put my literature out. But what I'll also do is when people are sitting at a table, I'll go sit down with them and start conversations. So that way I'm engaging with them. You see my stuff, here's my booth. Yeah, I bring a couple of pieces of literature. If it gets to a point where somebody would inquire for it, here you go. I don't have to get up and go get it.
Yeah, I love that. And think about this for a minute, you guys. A table is a barrier. It's an automatic barrier, right? Think about COVID. They would have tables in front of the takeout. So, let's keep our distance, right? It doesn't, it's put it behind you, right? Put it up against the wall and you're in front. Or, break it down and just bring your own small table and put your literature in and kind of maybe have a little, like a little alcove, like your own little thing where you can have a little conversation. So be thinking about how you're presenting, in what message you want to convey, right? So how to be a good exhibitor. So some questions you want to ask yourself, like, why are you there? Are you there just for exposure? Are you there to meet your friends? Like, what are you doing? Are you looking to drive new business? Are you just going brand awareness? What is it? What are your goals? What are you looking to get out of the event? And when you have a goal, write down your steps. Like, how am I going to achieve that? I want to meet, 3 new customers or 1 new client or 1 new partner. What is the goal that you have for this event? What kind of materials are you bringing? Are you making photocopies on your own, your own computer at home, or have you taken the time to, to go to Kearney or whatever to get some professional printing done, or Staples, right? I support local businesses, so I say Kearney. That's just me. And then what are your interactions like? What do you think? What do you want your interactions to be? How are you going to present yourself? Get some sleep the night before. Don't drink. Don't be hungover the night before the expo. Okay. You're not going to have your energy there. I'm serious. Like, you want to come in you want to come in on your A game. I know, John, you're laughing, but this is real. I love my wine at night. Trust me. I won't drink the night before an expo. But you think about that. What are you going to do to make sure your energy is up that day? Because it's all about the energy. And people can feel it, they know it. So think about those things before you get going, right? And now, like, what does your booth say about you? Look at this dude. He's like, he's exhibiting for it's limbs.biz, right? So he's got some limbs hanging out there, like a leg and a leg and an arm. And and then this guy here's on his phone, right? Nice booth, it's okay. It's kind of cluttered, but he's just sitting there on his phone, completely disengaged in the show. And granted, this show isn't thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not, it's not going to be huge money. Some people it is, but you're spending this money. So it doesn't matter if you're spending $200, $300, $400, $1,000. It's money. So do you want to make that money back? Then be open to talking to people. If you're shy and you don't like to talk to people, don't do an expo. I'm just saying, it's not worth it for you because you're not going to be comfortable. You're not going to be engaged, right? Or you can bring somebody, that does like people and have somebody with you, So just keep all those kinds of things in mind. I always tell people, like, some people are like, oh, I don't like talking on the phone. What do you do for work? Oh, I do phones for customer service. I'm like, you're in the wrong job. Right? If you don't want to talk on the phone, don't work in a call center. You're going to be miserable, but this expo is a blast, and it is like old home week, when we all get together. I think, Carleen, this is your first experience, right?
This is my first.
Yeah. So you're going to love it. It really is. Corridor 9, as most of you know, it's been my home for I don't know, my youngest son is 23. For 23 years, it's been between all of my different businesses. And I really do. I belong to a lot of different chambers, as everybody knows. But this is home for me. My people are here. My friends are here. The people that have given me a lot of business and supported me throughout the years through everything that I've done are here. So you'll feel the love in this room as well, which is very different from most other big trade shows when you go out to Vegas. So be open to meeting some people that could potentially be your friends for life. And it's a pretty amazing space. So as an exhibitor, you have a really great opportunity to meet some really great people because you're there and they're coming up and talking to you. So be open to those conversations and be willing to share a little bit about you personally and about your business. And, you know, remember, whenever I do the networking thing, Leanne, 1 second. Yeah. When I do networking, it's not what you do, it's why you do it. So when you're talking to people, it's not like I make bone sauce. I make the best chicken, you know, I make the best wing sauce. No, it's why, right? Like, I love making people enjoy their food through great taste and a unique texture, right? It's so different from sauce. So really be open to that why. What is your why? Leanne, I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Sandy. We talked a lot about how to be a good exhibitor and treat the attendees, but I just wanted to bring up a point because how to be a good exhibitor and respectful of other exhibitors is really important. I've been to a lot of these expos, conferences. Sometimes I'll get put at a table next to somebody who wants to have a really dynamic booth. That's great, but like a lot of times they'll encroach on your space or put up, you know, hangers or racks with clothes and things. And it's really moving in on your space and making your table less visible. So I just wanted to bring that up to be kind of conscious about not taking away visibility from your exhibiting neighbors.
Exactly. Yes. And if someone does, be really respectful, but go over and say, you know, pardon me, you know, I love what you're doing and this is really great. And I'm sure you're so excited. You know, would you mind just kind of moving this over? It's kind of in the space that I paid for and I would like that same opportunity. So it's not like, hey, move your stuff. I almost said the SH word. You know, it's that polite, empathetic, you know, kind of like, hey, we're in here, we're in this together, you know, and kind of thing. So thank you so much for mentioning that, Leanne. That's great.
So,
All right, so we're gonna,
what we are doing, just so you know, there is an 8-foot backdrop behind all of the booths, and then there's a 3-foot drop on either side. So there shouldn't be any infringing on space. And if there is, come see me. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, they're pretty good about this. This chamber's got this thing down pat. All right. So I'm going to go through the steps for exhibiting, and then we'll open up for questions. So step 1, do your research, right? Find out, you know what so this is for all shows, really. Now you've chosen that you're going to do quarter 9, understand your audience, right? Talk with Carlene, talk with Karen, you know, who do you think is going to be here? You know, how can I make the most of this? Make sure that you're ready for your interactions. It's going to be some small businesses, it's going to be some larger businesses. And I also say to have a partner with you so that you can go ahead and walk around as well. You know, making sure that you're able to hit everybody. If you're there by yourself, then you're not going to you won't get the most out of it, right? So you want to be able to have the attendees come to you. But I mean, we often share a lot of information with other vendors. So try to bring somebody with you if you can. Step 2, create the plan. You know, what are your main objectives? Like we talked about before, you know, do you want to make new business connections, increase your brand awareness, or just showcase the newest and latest thing that you've got going on? Once you determine that, create that plan to achieve those goals. This includes like what materials you're bringing, what booth design, like who's going to go with you, what's your promo materials. Make sure you are ready. We are 3 or 4 weeks away from this expo. Don't wait until, you know, April 1st to decide what you're going to do. Start thinking about that now and start executing now. The more prepared you are, the less nervous you're going to be, and the more fun you're going to have, actually. And I would also suggest to maybe create something that's interactive in your booth. When I owned my fitness center, we brought You know the Bob that you see at Dick's, the life-size thing. We had people come and punching Bob. It was hilarious. So just doing things like that. So what can you do to be interactive? Whether you're going to have a raffle, or whether you want to have a quiz or have your TV there, if you have electricity at your booth, think about what you can do to make it interactive to draw people in. Step 3, make sure that you select a good spot, and hopefully you signed up early. Visibility is the key. And if you're not in a place that has a lot of visibility, you got to create some hype for people to come over, right? So either it's a good tchotchke or it's a good activity, something where, people like, oh, you've got to go over and see, Janie over, out in the hallway, she's doing whatever it is, right? So make sure that depending on where your spot is, that you're ready for that particular area. If you're right in the beginning and you're right there as people walk in, make sure it's splashy, right? And so that's my next slide, is make sure that you stand out using bright colors and lighting and interactive, right? Don't be afraid to be creative. Some people come in there, they've got their flag, they've got their brochures. It's fine, right? So think about what can you do to make a little bit of a difference, to create some interaction, to create some excitement. What is it that you can do? Think about those kinds of things. And step 5, make sure that you're welcoming atmosphere. People that are there are able to talk about what you do. They're excited about it. They understand your why. That is key, right? Not just the what, but the why. Think about Simon Sinek, start with why. Make sure that everyone is enthusiastic. And like I said, promotions, giveaways, things like that, just get people over to you. What's the most important thing, do you guys think, about an exhibition? What do you think step 6 is?
Follow up.
Woohoo! Joe, is that what you're going to say?
What do you say?
Follow up?
Follow up. Yeah, absolutely. I think that, making a lasting, impression, that's one of the things that we always get is like, after the shows, everybody's like, we remember you, like after everything, because just the way that we interact with everybody. So. Yep,
absolutely. And that's the key, is it's follow up, right? It doesn't do any good if you don't have a way to collect information for who visited you, and you don't have a plan on follow-up, right? So it's really, really key to how are you? I'm looking at my other screen. Sorry, so I was making sure I was there. Do you have a place to collect business cards? Do you have a place for people to sign in? What information are you collecting? Have an email ready to go. Have an email ready to go. Stick it in your drafts, have it ready. When you get back, input everybody's information, off it goes. Have it ready. I do that at almost every event that I do. I've got an email ready to go and I just type in the information. I use Camcard, so it's very easy. And so there's different things like that. It is 10:25 and I want to be very respectful of everyone's time, because I so appreciate the time that you took this morning to come out on your Zoom, out of your bed and into the chair, to come and talk with me. But are there any questions that you might have today, or any comments? Yes.
I have one comment. I think as a society, we become very casual and relaxed. As an exhibitor, I would recommend that you go a level above in dress. You may not need the tie. Guys may not need the tie, but a suit with an open collar, tie preferred in my opinion, but maybe it's reflective of my age.
I agree with that. Yes. Yeah. 100%.
And the thing you said at the end about, collecting names, having a way to make sure you know who was at the show, who visited your booth is imperative. Otherwise, what's the point in being there? And drawing them in somehow. I mean, you can't do it at this booth, but we were in a Boston booth, big show once, and we had a shoe shine stand there too. So we got a lot of people. The cost of the shoe shine was your business card. So you just need a way to collect, whether you have a drawing or something, you need a way to know who visited your booth.
Yeah, I love that. It's really this, you can Google things like how to make my booth interactive and it will give you some fun ideas. So Jay, did you have something? You're off of mute. So did you have something?
No, I was just trying to say like this has been really great because I have been at the other end. I've never exhibited, so this was really useful. And I'm definitely going to tell all the girls that we need to do this. We are going to keep our phones in the jacket pocket or in the bag, not have them on the table. So
That's so important, guys. That's so important. It's so respectful to the attendees and just even for yourselves.
I don't really understand why anybody would do that. Like we push ourselves to see who can sell more. Like we make a game out of it. Like, you know, it's this is the whole point of going. Like, why would you not be engaged?
You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed.
You'd be amazed.
You'd be amazed.
I mean, I see it all the time. I'm just like, okay, you guys are just wasting money, but okay.
And it's funny because our chamber is such a family that, you know, people are everybody's so comfortable with each other. And so it does feel more like
a lot of us know each other. So, you know, it's like very family, right? Yeah.
And just so you guys know, it always snows on the day of the expo.
No, we won't be able to see the weather that
Kara's
far.
gonna kill me. That's recorded. You can tell her that. But we always joke about it. Oh, we know the day of the expo, it's gonna snow. And she gets so mad when we tell her that. But anyway, I appreciate it.
I have one question before we go.
Yeah.
Is the load in the day of, or is it the day before?
The day of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think at 2, they open at 2.
So I'm going to be sending out an email message to all the exhibitors, telling you exactly how the parking works, how the setup is, exactly what you need, what you don't need, etc.
Okay. Yeah, I just needed to know because I have different backdrops. Like I have a lighted up one and it takes time to set up. So if it was the day before, I would have used that, but we'll use just a regular drop banner. So no big deal.
Okay.
Awesome. Anyone else? Any other questions?
And one more thing you can do that doesn't take a lot of space up instead of the shoe shine, have somebody doing caricatures of people too. That always draws people in.
Oh yeah.
That's fun. Awesome. Well, feel free to reach out to me at any time. And you know, I'm always around. I'm around, and you know, you can find me in the Chamber website, Chamber Master, and yep, that's it. And here's my contact information if I can find it. I always forget to share it. So that's my contact information. With Human Power Solutions, we do training and development, do all kinds of workshops like this, you know, networking and leadership and all that stuff. So I appreciate your time so very much today, and very grateful and feel very blessed to be able to serve you all today. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sandy.
Thanks, Sandy.
You have to send the recording, right?
Yes, she's recorded it. Yeah, Jay, you guys will get that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thanks.
Thank you, others.
Thank you.
Very well done. And I would just ask all the attendees, thank you for coming. Carly will be sending out a follow-up with a questionnaire as to how you like this workshop. And also, very importantly, what type of workshops would you like to see in the future? That's very important for our committee, the programs committee, so you can help us in that regard. So thank you again, Carly. And if you don't have anything, we're good.
Thank you.